Hello and welcome to Movie Recap. Today I am going to recap sci-fi thriller movie Glasshouse. Confined to their glass house in a post-apocalyptic world, a family survives a toxin that erases memory. Until the sisters are seduced by a stranger who shatters their peace. Who will survive at the end? Let's find out together. In this post-apocalyptic world, a small group of people, including Bee, her sister Evie, and Bee's daughter Daisy, live in a glass building surrounded by chaos. A sign on the building warns outsiders not to trespass, but a scavenger ignores the warning and is shot in the head by the group. The girls then loot the corpse, taking its organs and burying the body in a shallow grave. Inside the building, Bee's brother Gabe waits for them, unprotected from the toxic air outside, known as the shred, which causes memory loss. Gabe was exposed to the shred at a young age and struggles with basic tasks like reading and using the toilet at night. The group's mother provides strict guidelines for how to handle outsiders who try to enter their safe haven. Daisy, Bee's daughter, longs to see an animal and hopes that her uncle Luca will return and tell her stories. The family engages in ritualistic acts, such as burying the organs of killed trespassers in the soil, in an attempt to keep their plants and trees growing and producing clean oxygen. The next day, Bee stands guard with her rifle and spots another stranger approaching. She removes his gas mask and he passes out, leading Bee to decide to bring him into the glass house in the hope that he may have information about Luca. Evie sees Bee and warns her that she is breaking the rules by bringing in a stranger, but Bee is determined to save the man's life. The family brings the man to their mother, who is angry that they broke the rule of not bringing in outsiders. However, she ultimately decides to help the stranger since he is already inside, and teaches the girls how to stitch a wound as she tends to his leg injury. The mother restrains both Gabe and the stranger's ankles for safety. The next morning, Gabe wets the bed and is scared and surprised. The girls wake up and go to clean the sheets while Bee shows condescending behavior towards Gabe. Evie stays to help wash her brother's private parts. While changing the stranger's bandages, Bee becomes touchy and asks Evie to get some water. The stranger, who has been pretending to be unconscious, opens his eyes and Bee warns him not to try anything. The family gathers as the mother interrogates the stranger, who can't remember his name and says there is no place like their sanctuary in the city to the east. He asks if they will let him go, but the mother says he might forget their kindness and put them at risk. She decides that he will remain and work like the rest of them. Daisy asks the stranger if he has seen a kangaroo or sheep in his travels, but he tells her that a kangaroo would be very hungry in this area, as it is the only place with a patch of green within a 3-day walk. The mother instructs Daisy to take Gabe and place a special warning outside using the old intruder's body as a warning to other potential intruders. The family works to cut the last intruder limb by limb as Bee flirts with the stranger and gives him a plate of everything they grow, asking him to choose his favorites. Evie returns and warns Bee not to trust the stranger too quickly, but Bee feels like she already knows him well. Daisy has another conversation with the stranger about favorite animals, and he offers to carve a horse for her with a knife if she can bring him one. She takes a knife from the garden without her sister's knowledge. The stranger secretly carves the horse for Daisy, but Gabe sees him and wants to try it. However, he struggles with basic tasks and becomes very upset, breaking and trashing everything around him. The family rushes in to try to calm him down, but they are unsuccessful. Gabe becomes violent and hits Bee, prompting Daisy to unlock the chains on the stranger's ankles so he can help calm Gabe down. Eventually, they succeed in calming him and the mother allows the stranger to walk freely. Later at night, the stranger joins Bee in front of the mirror and she calls him Luca before he corrects her, and says he can't be him because he doesn't feel for her like a brother should. Bee responds by saying that means he is Luca. The next day, the stranger, Bee, and Daisy work in the garden when he goes to fetch a brush from the seed shed and sees Evie in there. He tries to engage in friendly conversation with her and asks about her memory box, a game she used to play with Luca. Evie doesn't trust the stranger and is angry that he is essentially replacing her brother by being around Bee and Daisy. The mother confronts the stranger and suggests that his role in the family might be to impregnate Bee. Later, while on guard duty with the stranger, Bee sees someone approaching and aims to shoot, but the stranger distracts her by touching her sensually. Despite this, Bee takes the shot and kills the trespasser, and the girls disembody the body afterwards. Evie goes into the garden and sees Bee and the stranger having sex, causing memories of a similar scene with Luca to flood back. She runs away just as the stranger notices her. Evie was tending to the garden when the stranger approached, casually asking if she had enjoyed the show. Evie was incensed and picked up a nearby tool, hurling it at the stranger. "Your tricks might work on B," she spat, "but they won't work on me." B is so desperate to have Luca back that she can't see the truth. Evie warned the stranger to stop manipulating B, reminding him that B's mind was already fragile. The stranger, undeterred, sat down and dug out Evie's memory box, discovering a letter necklace belonging to Luca. Pocketing the necklace, he joined the family for their daily ritual. But Evie put a stop to it, declaring the ritual sacred and the stranger an outsider. B protested, saying Evie was the one disrupting the ritual. The stranger produced the letter necklace, claiming he had always kept it safe, but Evie accused him of using their memories against them and manipulating them. Daisy defended the stranger, saying they should just let him be Luca, but Evie warned that they were all living in a fantasy and that if they didn't snap out of it, they would all die. The mother finally speaks up, scolding B for prioritizing her feelings for Luca over her responsibilities as the eldest sibling. B fires back, blaming Evie for spying on her and Luca in the past and for not properly watching over Gabe, which led to his exposure to the shred. Evie storms out of the room, later confiding in her mother that she feels like the only one who cares about the truth. The mother comforts her, assuring her that she has always kept the family safe and will continue to do so. She adds that once the child is born, Luca will be gone, just as he always has been. Meanwhile, Gabe is wide awake, listening uneasily to the creaky sounds of the bed above as B has sex with the stranger pretending to be Luca. The sounds carry to Evie and even the mother in the next room. As the days pass, B pays a visit to her mother, who sternly warns her to protect herself from the shred for the sake of the baby growing inside her. She explains that the leaves around them provide fresh air to breathe, but sacrifices are necessary because the plants aren't producing enough oxygen to sustain many people, including the baby's lungs. "You had your fun," the mother tells her, "now it's time to choose between fake Luca and the newborn baby." B breaks down, screaming that she can't choose. The commotion causes Gabe to bolt outside, without any protective gear. Fake Luca springs into action, assisting Evie as they race after Gabe and bring him back inside. Once they're all safe, B takes fake Luca aside and explains that her mother will make him leave as soon as the baby is born, but she can't let that happen. She suggests they escape together. While Evie sleeps, Gabe sneaks into her bed and tries to get frisky. She wakes up just in time to stop him but still lands him a hand to satisfy his needs. Later, as Gabe and the stranger work inside, the stranger drops a bombshell, telling Gabe that Evie's affection for him is nothing more than pity. Infuriated, Gabe hurls a plank at the stranger, shattering the window. They quickly patch up the breach, but the damage is done. The stranger sits down with the mother, suggesting that Gabe is becoming a danger to their community and that perhaps it would be best for him to leave. The mother, however, has already made her decision. It's time for the stranger to go. He approaches B, who is in the shower with the other girls, and she begs him to stay, saying they are all family here. But he declines, saying it's his turn for sentry duty. He storms into the mother's room, grabs her by the throat, and strangles her. As she falls unconscious, he bashes her head in, killing her. He drags her body next to Gabe and cuts his restraints, making it look like Gabe is the killer. When the girls discover their mother's body, they are devastated, and all evidence points to Gabe as the murderer. The stranger restrains him and opens the window. The stranger finally opens up about his past and how he came to be in the Glasshouse. He tells the story of how he watched his parents and sister succumb to the shred, a toxic air that causes memory loss. Desperate to forget the pain, he removed his mask and willingly inhaled the shred, but to his surprise, it had no effect on him. As he watches Gabe's mind deteriorate and become completely gone, he closes the window. Meanwhile, B is overcome with memories of a fateful day on sentry duty. She saw an intruder approaching and signaled to see if it was Luca, but when the person reached for something, she panicked and shot them dead. It was only when she removed her mask and dug up the body that she realized it was Luca, who had been trying to signal her with a flashlight. Evie has known the truth all along, and the revelation devastates B. She wants to go outside and forget everything, but Evie tries to stop her. The stranger intervenes and helps Evie keep B inside. They return to find Gabe unresponsive and lost in his own mind. B eventually goes outside, and when she returns, she is cheerful and acts as if nothing ever happened. Evie tells Daisy to stop wearing her mask and let her guide their memories, just as the mother did. Evie takes on the mother's role, performing the rituals in her place and vowing to carry on her work. It becomes clear that Gabe has been wandering outside without a mask, just like Bee, who is now several months pregnant. As he digs in the ground, he uncovers two skeletons with the necklaces of Bee and Evie. The mother kept the names and necklaces of the people who lived before, and the family essentially takes on their identities. The stranger is on sentry duty and sees a trespasser approaching. He raises his rifle, but at the last second, he decides to shoot Gabe instead, knowing that his mind is too far gone and that there is a new candidate that is more suiting to replace his place. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thanks for watching.